Hello, welcome to the Melbourne Cup preview.
The Go Racing Special. Thanks, Doug, for hosting it this year.
Oh, no worries, mate. Anytime.
I need to have a disclaimer at the start, though.
What was the disclaimer?
Disclaimer is, well, I've done this for a few years. I think it's been 10 years since I picked the winner.
Oh,
So,
that's no surprise, though.
No. So you got to take it with a pinch of salt. Or I've picked a lot of seconds and thirds and fourths, but I've had a drought for winners. But maybe it's just time to break that drought.
Yeah.
So I'm going to sound like I know what I'm talking about, but you've just got to decide whether I do or not. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, mate. First Tuesday of November. Race at Stops Two Nations. Great day. Nobody call me between 4 and 6 because I'll just be focusing on the TV.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it.
So the first horse is Gold Trip, written by James McDonald. It's paying $6.50 to win.
$6.50 fixed odds. Yeah, he's got three things against him. He's going up in weight. It's a stronger field. And he's probably going to strike a firm track and he prefers it soft. However, while he's going up in weight, it's only an extra kilo. And he's going better this year than last year, I think. He won it last year, and I think he's arguably going better. I think his win in the Turnbull was phenomenal. His third in the Caulfield Cup was excellent. His Cox Plate run was brilliant. He was finishing off hard. I think apparently his feet are good now, so I don't think a hard track is going to worry him as much as a wet, as having the concerns that he might not go so well on it. I don't think it's going to be as big, and it's definitely a stronger field, but he's going better. I think he's barrier 2, better draw than last year. J Mac in the saddle, he's right in it. He's right in it. He's the only true weight for age horse in the field, I think.
Second horse, Alan Queer, is written by Damien Oliver, and it's $41 fixed odds to win.
Probably should be more than that on the day. Damien Oliver factor, it's his last ride in the Melbourne Cup, so people will be big on that and will want to support him because of that. German breed, he's got the breeding to be in it, but he just hasn't acclimatised to Australia like some horses do and some don't. He's had 5 starts, all unplaced. 9th in the Moonee Valley Gold Cup, not great form. A lot of weight to carry. Very hard to see him finishing the first 12.
Third horse, Without a Fight, written by Mark Zahra, and then paying $6 to win at fixed odds.
So Mark Zahra had the choice to ride Gold Trip or Without a Fight, and he chose this horse. He's got barrier 16. He's absolutely low flying. He won the Caulfield Cup, and he went through the late autumn, the winter, looking unbeatable. So all of those things say he's got to be a big chance. However, I'm discounting him. He's won at 2,400. He's won a couple of races at 2,800 metres in the UK, but they were in fields of 3 and 6 where there wasn't a lot of speed on, and it was more of a sprint home rather than a high tempo race. There's going to be a lot of speed in this race. It's going to be a true test of stayers, and he's by a sire that's a champion sire of 2, who was a champion 2-year-old, and his dam sire was also a champion 2-year-old. So I just don't think he's got the pedigree to run 2 miles. I think he'll run 2,800, and I think he'll struggle over the last 300. I think he is well under the odds, $6, and I would leave him out. I know 99% of people say he's won a Caulfield Cup, put him in, he's flying, but for me, he's a leave.
Fourth horse is Breakup, written by Kohei Matsuyama.
Oh, good pronunciation.
Oh, cheers.
Look, he's a Japanese horse, and they can never, ever be underestimated. They've won the Melbourne Cup before. They won the Golden Eagle on Saturday. They're brilliant horses. They're hard, they're tough. He's got an awkward barrier draw of 18, so he's going to have to, and the jockey, I think, is riding for the first time in Australia, so that makes it really difficult for him to get a spot. If he does get a spot, however, I think he's a live winning chance. His form's outstanding. He's run third over 3,000 metres in a big race in Japan back in March. He then ran 4th in the Tenno Show, which is their Melbourne Cup over 2 miles. He was fresh up the other day in the Caulfield Cup and only ran 8th, and it just looked a fair run. However, this horse, second up, has had 6 starts for 3 wins and 2 placings. So they have targeted him running second up into the Melbourne Cup. That's why they gave him the Caulfield Cup run. He will improve significantly from the Caulfield Cup to this run. If he gets a nice run in transit, he can win. He is chance. If he's 3 wide or without cover, then he's going to be in trouble. You'll know in the first 500 metres. I think they'll go forward on him, and you know in the first 500 metres whether he's a chance or not. But on form, he certainly can win it.
He's paying $16 fixed odds to win as well.
Is it? Yeah. He's probably a $16, $18 chance.
5th horse is Ray Vauban.
Yeah.
Vauban, ridden by Ryan Moore and paying $4.20 for fixed odds.
So he's the favourite. So he's trained by Willie Mullins, who is the best trainer of stayers in the world. He's a freak. Brian Moore is best jockey in the world at the moment. You would say he's absolutely flying. He's got barrier 3. This horse sits on speed. So from barrier 3, he's going to be in the first 3 or 4. He's going to be out of trouble the whole way. He won at Royal Ascot this year. He absolutely canted and won by 7.5 lengths. He was a $2 favourite. He then came out at his next start in Ireland, and he won, but he wasn't anywhere near as impressive as at Ascot. I think he ran well below his peak performance. Now that was 3 months ago, and that's the other thing. I think only one horse in Melbourne Cup history has won without having run in the previous 90 days. So there's a couple of small things against him, but there's no doubting that he is he is a very, very good stayer, and the trainer he's got a great trainer. So he's got to be a massive chance of winning. Has to be. There are a couple of small things about the 90 days and whether or not his Royal Ascot run was his peak run, but he's got to be top 3. Whether $4.20 is good odds, it's probably about right. I think anything under $4 is a bit short in the Melbourne Cup. There's been 5 favourites come down from the Northern Hemisphere in the last few years, and as favourites, and none of them have run in place. So he's a big chance, but I don't think he is a $3 shot.
6th horse is Soulcombe, ridden by Joe Moreira, paying $10 fixed odds to win.
Yeah, so Chris Waller trained, the great Chris Waller. Joe Moreira, one of the best jockeys on the planet, only 53.5 kilos. Really good horse. We were talking about how some horses acclimatise Australia and some don't. This horse has. He is acclimatised. He was very good in the under one at Weight for Age. He was very good in the Turnbull at Weight for Age, running 3rd behind Gold Trip. He drops 2.5 kilos for that. His run the Caulfield Cup was excellent. He was only 7th, but he missed the start. Clear last, came home really well. He's got barrier 4. If any jockey can get a horse out of the barriers, it's Joe Moreira. If he doesn't jump, he's in trouble if he jumps slowly. But if he jumps well, and Joe Moreira is a legend at this, then he will be handy to midfield. He'll run out a strong 2 miles, I believe. I think he's a really good chance. I think it's a big show.
Next horse, Absurd, ridden by Zach Purden, and it's paying $10 fixed odds.
This is the Willie Mullins second stringer. So they've got Vauban and they've also got Absurd. So Absurd was beaten by Vauban at Royal Ascot by 7.5 lengths. But probably from about 400 metres out, there's about 7.5 lengths between, and that sort of distance didn't change. Now, Vauban probably could have won by more, but that run was probably unfair to judge Absurd on. He came out and won the Ebor last start, and that is the biggest indicator for Melbourne Cup form, because it's the biggest handicap race, not a Weight for Age race, which all the group races are in Europe. Frankie Dettori rode him. He was 3 wide on the speed without cover the whole way, and he ground away and he won it narrowly. I think this horse, he's got barrier 8. He's probably going to be reasonably handy. He's a good stayer, but I think he just lacks a little bit of turn of foot. And I think while he has a chance, and he's a top 6 chance, I think he's too close in the weights to Vauban. There's only 2 kilos between them. And on ratings, there should be 4 to 5 kilos between them. And I think he might just lack that turn of foot. I think he'll keep grinding to the line. So hard to see him winning, but easy to see him running in the top 5.
The next horse is Right You Are, ridden by John Allen, paying $41 fixed odds.
This horse has actually got he's got a pretty tough barrier draw in 15, but he's a horse that I think will run the 2 miles right out. I think he's flying under the radar, and I think he's a chance. He's one of those horses that's probably over the odds. He was absolutely low flying back in the autumn. He was winning everything at a lesser grade, but he was winning them in a row. Won the Morning Cup over 1.5 miles. He's come back fresh up. He carried 60.5 kilos to run second over a mile. He ran 5th in the Underwood at weight for age. He dropped 6 kilos from that. He ran 5th in the Caulfield Cup. It wasn't a bad run at all. So his dam Like a Ding won the Geelong Cup, and she ran in the Melbourne Cup. So he's got a pedigree to run the 2 miles. Only 53 kilos. I think he's one of the horses that are paying very good odds. That is a outside chance of winning it.
Next horse is Vow and Declare, ridden by Billy Egan, and it's paying $21 fixed odds.
So Vow and Declare won the Melbourne Cup 4 years ago, and when he won that, he drew a wide barrier as he has here. But 4 years ago, he went forward. He got in the 1-1 somehow. Craig Williams, brilliant ride, and then they went slow. They went slow up front. He was handy, and he managed to sprint and win. It's going to be a different scenario this year. There's a lot of speed. It's going to be a hard run race. So while he has come back to the best form he's been in since back then, 8-year-olds don't have a great record. I think it's going to be a true staying test. And even though he's a Melbourne Cup winner, I think he might just get found out in the last 200 metres in a staying test. So for me, he's top 12, but he's not top 6.
Next horse is Cleveland, ridden by Michael D, paying $31 fixed odds to win.
Won the Moonee Valley Gold Cup last start. He was favourite in the Sydney Cup in the autumn where he failed. It wasn't a bog track though. He's been running in those races that are just a tier below the top races. He ran 2nd in the State Ledger, 6th in the Metropolitan. I just think he's got barrier 23. They'll probably elect to go forward on him, and I'd say I just think he just lacks a little bit of class to be in this race. I'd rather be on Right You Are at 41 than him at 31.
Next horse is Ashran, written by Kieran McAvoy.
Kieran McAvoy.
McAvoy, sorry. Paying $41.
He's got, this horse has got, he's got the class, he's got the quality. Yeah, a few years ago he won the Hotham, and then which is the Lexus, and got into the Melbourne Cup, and then he ran in the Melbourne Cup and he ran 10th, but he wasn't beaten all that far, 4.8 lengths. He then did a tender, and we haven't seen him for 3 years. So he's come back and he's got steadily better each start, and his last run, the Geelong Cup, was good. However, I don't know if his form is really up to it this time, and he's only had the 3 runs in. He's going to 4th up after a long time off. The Geelong Cup form, apart from 1 run, I think is questionable. I'd love to see him run well, but I couldn't have him in my top 10. No, I could have him in my top 12, but not my top 6. I think he's just a running midfield horse.
Next horse, Daquan Sweet Jr., ridden by Daniel Stackhouse, paying $81 fixed odds to win.
And you look at him and you like to say, oh, he's by Sweet Orange, and his form doesn't look good. 13 to 14, 14 15, 10 of 14, 7 of 16, 4 of 9. Geez, he's been out of form. However, this horse is just an absolute 2-miler. He won the Adelaide Cup. He's had 3 starts, 2 miles for a win and a place, and the only time he was unplaced was the Melbourne Cup last year when he ran 6th, and he was coming home the whole way down the straight. He will be finishing off when others are not. He will run top half the field. If you can get a top 10 bet on him, and it's reasonable money, $5 or $6, that's a good bet. Cannot see him winning, can't see him running the top 4 this year. but I'll be surprised if he doesn't run the first half of the field at $81. There'll be a lot of horses stopping behind him, and he'll keep going.
Next horse, Okita
Sushi.
Sushi, yeah. Ridden by Dylan Gibbons, paying $81 as well for Thomas to win.
Who's training him?
Dylan Gibbons.
No, that's the jockey. Who's the trainer?
Joseph O'Brien is the new trainer of Go Racing.
Yeah, Joseph O'Brien. This is a horse that I was following up in the Northern Hemisphere for a couple of years, 2 or 3 years. He kept getting entered in sales, and I kept thinking, I'd love to buy this horse, and they kept withdrawing him. He's a really good stayer. He was excellent winning at Ascot this year. He's a nice horse. He's unexposed. He's lightly raced, but his run in the Caulfield Cup was poor. He just showed no dash at all. Joseph O'Brien's a great trainer, but he's drawn barrier 20, and the way he went in the Caulfield Cup, it's just hard to see him improving enough to be a danger in this. So, unfortunately, I can't pick him.
Next horse, Shiraz, ridden by Buey Mertens, paying $151 fixed to win, and he's trained by Chris Waller.
Yeah, by Bo Mertens. Ran a blinder in the Sydney Cup for second back in the autumn, but it was on a very wet track, and he's going to get a dry track here. Barrier 22 makes it very difficult. He just hasn't been in form. Hard to see him featuring. He will run the 2 miles. He could sneak into that top half field, top 10, top 12, possibly at big odds. I think they're running markets on top 10, and he could, at maybe $10 or $15, he could run top 10, but just simply because he stays. But I couldn't have him on his form.
Next horse, Lastochka, ridden by Craig Williams, paying $18 fixed odds to win.
Great champion jockey on her. Craig Williams, only 51 kilos. The barrier 21 is difficult. What do you do from there? She'll stay. She ran she won over 3100 last start at Longchamp, but it was pretty much a jog and sprint race. There wasn't a lot of speed on. There'll be a lot of speed on. Mares do not have a good record coming down from Europe, full stop, or even in this race. Many of them just simply do not acclimatise. Colts and geldings, a lot of them do, but the mares, very, very few of them acclimatise. Very, very hard for them. So because of that factor alone, and the draw, I'm putting a line through it.
Next horse is Magical Lagoon, ridden by Mark Duplessis, paying $126 fixed odds to win, also trained by Chris Waller.
And again, this is another Northern Hemisphere mare who's come down, and you can see from her form she has not acclimatised. She's come down. She might acclimatise in the future with another break, but she hasn't. Her run in the Geelong Cup, she led up, and she's only beat the length, but the way she led up on a moderate speed, she should have gone better. I couldn't have her.
Next horse is Military Mission, ridden by Rachel King, paying $21 fixed odds to win.
Has a very good profile, master craftsman, good sire of stayers, is in good form, will be rock hard fit. Trained by Gay Waterhouse, Adrian Bott. Its form though is just a level below the top horses. Won the Newcastle Cup, won the Herbert Power. Those races are just one they're just down a level, down a notch. He's got a good barrier draw of 5, no weight in his back. Can see him running well and being in the race. I think just lacks the class of some of the others. Could run top 10, top 12, but I think he's under the odds at $21.
Then next horse, Serpentine, ridden by Jai McNeil, paying $41 fixed odds to win.
So Serpentine won the Epsom Derby by leading, and I'm 90% sure will be leading again on Tuesday. He's one of the horses, I think they run a market who's in front at the post first lap. This is the horse you want to be on. He should be in front when they go past the post the first time. However, he's had 3 starts at 2 miles and has not stayed in any of them. So I think you can safely say he will not stay. This will be a fast run race. If he doesn't set the pace, or if he goes too slow, something will come around and take him on. So I think it's very difficult for him. Barrier 1, ideal draw for him, but I think there's others with better chances.
Next horse is Virtuous Circle, written by Craig Newitt, and is paying $151 fixed odds to win.
Second in the ATC Derby on a heavy track back in the autumn. It's had 9 starts on a good track for 1 win. Had 3 starts on heavy tracks for a win and 2 placings. I think probably needs it wet. Form has been poor this time in. Just very, very hard to see him being competitive in this race. I would have him right down the bottom of my picks. He wouldn't. I couldn't back him.
Next horse is More Felons, ridden by Jamie Carr, and is paying $31 fixed odds to win.
Trainer?
Chris Waller from New Zealand.
Barrier draw?
And 6.
No, and brackets.
Yeah, this is 6. Oh, 24. Sorry, that's terrible.
This is a chance. This horse. He's the barrier draw. When I saw the barrier draw came out, it killed me. I was just like, no. This horse here. It raced in the Northern Hemisphere as script writer, and it ran in the Ebor, a couple of starts back behind Absurd, carrying 61 kilos, and it didn't get all favours. It just got caught behind horses the whole way. Now, whether or not it would have been good enough to burst through and win on the day is another question mark. However, there's in the Northern Hemisphere, the ratings in the Northern Hemisphere, there's £8 between More Felons and Absurd. So they rate Absurd £8 higher than More Felons. Not a huge amount, and More Felons gets a £10 weight relief off Vauban. So on handicapping, this horse has got to be right in it. He has acclimatised well to Australia. He's had the 1 run, but it was a super run. It was in the Geelong Cup, and while the form there was only moderate, it was a moderate pace. He was well back. He showed an electric turn of foot. He sprinted hard, really, really well on a good track. He got close. Another couple of strides, he would have won. $31 is well over the odds for me on this horse. The only really good jockey Jamie Carr. The only concern is the 24 barrier and what they do and where they end up. You know, at best it's going to be 3 wide, I think, with cover in midfield, and that would be fine. It's top 5 hope and can win, I think.
Next horse is Future History, ridden by Holly Doyle, paying $18 fixed odds to win.
In a rich vein of form, won the Bart Cummings over 2,500 metres, which is an automatic entry to the Melbourne Cup. 3rd in the Moonee Valley Cup, which isn't great form, but I think it was a tick-over run. The problem for me with this horse is I have doubts it'll stay the 2 miles. By Showcasing, who's out, it's been a very, very good side in the Northern Hemisphere and a good side down here. But he generally is a sire of sprinters and milers, and they don't usually get much past a mile. That pulls them up. So he's obviously a freakish in that sense that he's got, 2,500 metres. I just think his form is a level below other horses, and I just think there's got to be a big question mark about whether he stays, being by Showcasing. $18, I think as well. I think it's too short. I think people are backing because they look at his form 2-1, 2-1, 3. I think he's one that I would happily safely leave out.
Next horse is Interpretation, ridden by Theo Nugent, and then is paying $101 fixed odds to win.
Yeah, Theo Nugent. So Interpretation ran in the Cup last year and failed to finish, was pulled up. Form had been relatively moderate until his last start winning the Bendigo Cup. I think the Bendigo Cup form is weaker than the Geelong Cup form. Barrier 17. Just hard for me to see him having the class to threaten this field.
Next horse is Colour Poor, ridden by Zach Lloyd, paying $31 fixed odds to it.
Yes, an interesting horse. He won the on Saturday the Lexus, the Archer Stakes, which got him into the race. He's had a very busy spring. You go back to September. He, I think, lost his ride on the Wyong Cup, ran 7th of the Newcastle Cup. 30th September, ran 3rd of the Metropolitan. Run twice since then, 3rd in the St. Ledger. Ran on Saturday where he won, but he kind of got things handed to him. He led up, didn't go that hard, kicked hard, and I think he's rock hard fit, and I think he can run a nice race. Barrier 14 is difficult, but I just think it might be a bridge too far. I think he's had a lot of racing, and when you've got to win on the Saturday to get in, and you do, it kind of becomes a peak for you, peak race, because you've got to target that. And I just think it might be difficult for him. I think there's a couple of good races for him, but I couldn't see him running. I can't see him winning the Melbourne Cup.
And the final horse is True Marble, ridden by Ben Thompson, paying $126 fixed odds to win.
Yeah, and I think if you like this horse, wait to the day. I think you get 250 to 1. I think his odds on the fixed odds will double. He'll pay less on the toes. He's an 8-year-old, so that's 8-year-olds do not have a great record in the Cup. His last start was a hurdle win at Hamilton, but he's had 6 starts over 2 miles for a win and 3 placings. His last start over 2 miles was in the Brisbane Cup, where he ran 3rd. Now, that's a class a level below this, for sure. And no, I couldn't see it. You cannot see him winning, but he's one of those horses that will run 2 miles, and he's one of those horses that he could well beat home more horses than beat him. He could well be sort of 10th, 11th kind of style, in the race. Can't see him winning, but if they throw out ridiculously stupid odds for a top 10, he's probably not the worst. But couldn't have it.
So that concludes our Melbourne Cup preview.
So now we're just going to give our selections. Have you got a selection?
I've got a couple.
Do you want to give yours first? Shall I give mine first?
We'll go yours to mine.
Okay, so I've gone Gold Trip to win, make it a second one in a row. I think he's got the least things you can pot about him. J-Mac, Barrier 2, I think he's flying, he's going better than last year. There is the threat of rain on the day, thunderstorms and things. If that happens, then all of a sudden he becomes a great bet from a good bet. Vauban, he looks weighted to be right in the race. Willie Mullins, best trainer of stayers in the world. You cannot deny his form. There are a couple of little things, 90 days without a run, and whether or not he has peaked for the year, coming from the autumn up there into a hot summer in Australia, but very hard to pot. He's my second pick. Solcombe, my third pick. Number 6, I think his Caulfield Cup run was excellent. I think if he jumps, he's right there and can win. And 20, More Felons is my fourth pick. I think he's acclimatised really well. I think he's got the turn of foot to win. He's got the right profile. And my best roughie is number 8, Right You Are.
Well, I've also gone for Gold Trip to win.
Nice.
I've gone for Without a Fight.
Oh, the one nice.
And I've also gone Solcombe to get third.
Yeah.
And then I've gone for Cleveland as well.
Cleveland is your roughie?
Yep.
Nice. All right, we'll see. You'll probably do better than me.
Yeah.
And, people will read this and they'll watch results and go, he did not know what he was talking about. But best of luck to everyone out there. Enjoy the day. It's a great race. Have some champagne on hand. Bye.